And then we cut to Winterfell, which was surprising to me. I thought that they would like cut the budget of it all, but I was really glad we got to see Winterfell here, which is, I think, faithful to the books. But like I said, I haven't read the book, so I thought that they would just skip this. The fact that he went to the Starks and the fact that he went to House Arryn to talk about the terms and how they swore an oath to Rhaenyra and pledge her as their queen. So I really love that he spent some time at Winterfell with Cregan Stark, and it loved this conversation between the two where Cregan Stark tells him about the importance of duty and sacrifice, how they intercut this with what is happening in the show as well, how Rhaenyra is trying to do her duty as a queen, and how Alicent is trying to do her duty as a mother and wants to serve the realm. And I really loved how he talked about how Stark sending like one out of their 10 men to the Night's Watch to serve, and it's not taken as a demotion or something negative. It's taken as something of an honor. They are literally the only house among, I think, a few other houses in the north that know the destruction that White Walkers can bring. And I really loved how the opening of season 2 basically tells us that everything about the throne and all is cool, but the real threat, the threat to the species of mankind, is lying in the north, which basically tells us how human beings have thought about things in history about power and everything, when in fact a greater threat might loom in the future, but we are so blind to see it, and we are only focusing on ruling over one another instead of seeing the existential threat. So love the parallels there, and I really love this shot as well when Jace goes to the top of the wall and looks at this scenery. And here Cregan Stark tells Jace as well how actually the Targaryen family some decades ago came at the top of the wall and saw this, and how their dragons wouldn't cross the wall.
My father brought King Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne to see the wall. His grace stood at this very outlook and watched as their dragons, the greatest power in the world, refused to cross it.
They wouldn't cross the wall towards the north, towards the White Walkers, because I think they knew the threat that the White Walkers possessed and how dangerous they could be with their weapons and tools, and how the dragons would become numb in the cold ice. And that was such an interesting detail, and it basically made me remind about the final episodes of Game of Thrones, how they dealt with the White Walker threat in just one episode. When in fact I think it should have been the last one. Like the Night King should have been the final boss, and basically all of humanity fighting together to stop that threat. But instead they went the other way, and they basically limited the White Walkers to just something you can defeat with a knife fight or something.
You didn't see that coming?
I couldn't stop thinking about that when I saw Winterfell here and what could have been the final episodes of Game of Thrones. Again, it's always about what could have been. And even though I think the final season of Game of Thrones overall, if you look at just for what it is actually a good season of television. Like just remove the books and what could have been. But how can we not remove our expectations, knowing what came before, knowing how they took their time in the first four seasons and how they rushed it in the end? I'll never forgive the creators for that. Like if everything was like that from season one, I wouldn't blame the creators. But I really don't know why they rushed the final two seasons of Game of Thrones. But yeah, enough about Game of Thrones. Let's talk about something great here, something that's I would say has potential to eclipse Game of Thrones. And yeah, really love this conversation between Cregan Stark and Jace. And here Jace gets the message that Luke is dead. And Cregan Stark knows this and he wants to tell Jace, but you could tell that something bad has happened. And basically Jace will then return back to mourn basically his brother.